Yeesh. With gas prices the way they are, let's see if we can improve that.
I'm going to show you 3 simple things you can do to improve your fuel economy. The first 2 things, right under the hood. We have our air filter and our mass airflow sensor. We're going to clean those up. All right, we're going to start off with this mass airflow sensor here. I'm going to throw this under, hopefully, in case I drop one of those little Phillips screws. So it's important that you want to remove the mass airflow sensor completely rather than cleaning it inside of the housing here. Got it. All right, let's take that off there. Oh, well, that's a little dirty. So I don't know if you noticed that dirt come out of there. Just move that off of there. I'm checking the condition of these little wires in here, make sure they look okay. Those are the sensitive parts in there. Let's get this cleaned up. So to do this, you want to use only mass airflow sensor cleaner. This is a good one by CRC, and we're just going to spray this thing off. Get all those wires in there. Now we're not going to use any sort of brushes, any sort of rags or sponge or anything. We're just going to spray this off. Let the cleaner do the work. This stuff is designed specifically for this purpose, and it's not going to hurt any of the electronics, any of the little wire sensors. If you use something else like carburetor cleaner or something like that, you run the risk of actually damaging it. Now we're going to let this dry completely. While we're waiting for that to dry off, let's go ahead and tackle this air filter. It's definitely seen better days. Look at that. At least this side's looking pretty clean. Now, generally speaking, you would just pop this out, toss it, throw in a new one. However, in my case, this is one that is meant to be cleaned and reused. So I'm going to do that. To clean this off, I'm going to use the K&N recharger kit. It comes with everything you need to clean this and reuse it. First step is to spray on the cleaner. Apply liberally. And it says do it from both sides. When we go to rinse this through, it's going to help push it all out. Let that soak for about 10 minutes. Do not let it dry. While we're waiting for that, let's go ahead and clean this up a little bit. We're not going to clean the whole engine bay. It's kind of pointless. With where I work, it's going to get very dirty. But since we're going to clean these components and we want them to be clean when we reinstall them, let's at least clean the air filter housing here. We want to be careful not to shove anything into the hole of the airflow sensor there. That's better. Now if we just did that to the rest of it, maybe later. After about 10 minutes, it's time to give this a rinse. It's important to rinse it from the underside, the clean side, and let all of that come out through the bottom. And once we've shaken all the water out, we're going to let that air dry for about an hour before we oil it. Our mass airflow sensor is clean, dry, and ready to be reconnected. Go ahead and snap that in. So this has had plenty of time to dry, so now we're just going to oil it up, let that set, and throw it back in. The third thing you want to do is make sure your tires are at the recommended PSI. This actually makes a big difference. Mine are actually pretty low. I normally run mine a little lower because I'm running around in the rock quarry and there's some jagged rocks and I don't want them to puncture my tires. But that being said, I'm gonna bump it up a little bit. Now, if you've made it this far in the video, I have 2 more bonus tips for you, so stick around to the end. All right, let's give this an old reset, and we'll check back in a week to see how well we did. Bonus tip number 1, improve your driving habits. You don't need to put the pedal to the metal every time you leave a stop sign. Going slow and steady is usually the best way to get the best fuel economy. So chances are, with gas prices the way they are, you've been hitting all the cheapest gas stations you can find. And cheap gas is not the best for your engine. Which is why bonus tip number 2 is to throw some Techron in there or a similar fuel additive. I haven't tried them all, but I do know that this stuff does work. And if you're already getting your fuel at Chevron, you don't need to add this to your tank. So it's been about a week, and I've just been driving to and from work like I usually do. Let's see how much better we did. So that's an additional 2.6 miles per gallon, or an increase of 22%. And that's a really big deal for a gas guzzling V8 like this, because that means I can travel over 60 miles additional per fill up. All right, guys, let me know what you think of those results. Personally, I'm pretty happy. Considering it's a V8, getting those extra couple miles per gallon, it makes a huge difference. Also, I feel like it's worth mentioning all the products in this video are just things that I recommend personally, that I use. None of them are sponsored or anything like that. But yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.